Okay, so welcome everyone to this slideshow. We're going to be listening to a channeling, well, I'll be speaking the channeling of Phalia, and she is a healing technician aboard the Neptune. She is a galactic from the Pleiades. And first we'll start off with the meditation for Porlana C. Now this is the galactic meditation. The energy is spinning around the planet. It is an electric blue color. And within the meditation, we go down and we mix the electric blue with the red of Gaia, and we turn it into that gorgeous magenta color of compassion and wisdom. So it's a short meditation, it's 8 minutes, but we'll start with that first. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
So let's begin by working with and taking a nice deep breath of this Porlana sea energy. And it's not something that you need to go searching for. It's in the very air that's surrounding you. It's moving in a circular motion around the entire planet. And it's very high frequency, life force energy of your star family. The color of Porlana Sea is like a beautiful, brilliant, fluorescent blue, part of the Halion ray, part of Michael, of course, part of the Mother. But see this beautiful blue flame, like the blue that comes out of a gas jet or a welding torch. The blue that you see in your third eye right now. And breathe in this blue. Feel your shoulders throw back, pull them back. Open up your chest. Relax. But feel that rib cage entirely open. And your central channel from your crown, from above your crown, from about the 16th chakra on up, down past your root, wide open to Gaia herself. That beautiful central column of your being, crack it wide open. Now breathe and receive this beautiful fluorescent blue. Feel it coming down through your higher chakras, through the roof of your head, the roof of your mouth, your throat, your high heart, your rib cage. Feel it explode and jerk into your Halion center, your solar plexus, your belly button, your beautiful tummy, your pubic, your root. Shoot it on down like a gas flame, down towards Gaia. And let's open up this stream and just fill yourself. And feel each and every one of your chakras being activated, brought to a more rapid pulse, a higher frequency that you feel you got your hand in the electrical socket, that you're humming. Bring it on. Now feel yourself connecting to our beautiful Earth Mother Gaia, to this ancient, wondrous being, and pulling up that ruby red, that rich red, that life force red, and it's blending with the Porlana Sea, and it's a beautiful, rich magenta amethyst. Pull it up through your root, through your pubic. Don't forget, these are your areas for creation on earth, into your tummy, into your sacral, into your umbilical, into your solar, into your heart, and feel these intertwining, caressing and dancing like that gas jet with your beautiful tri-flame, with your perfect pink, with the infinite gold of the Father and the infinite blue of the Mother. Feel them juiced up, dancing more brightly, more vitally, more exuberantly. Breathe it in. And open and receive. This is an energy that is penetrating the entire planet, but it is also an energy you can choose to build on, receive more of, and allow the activations to be more rapid. So open your heart. Feel that connection to your star family. This is their life force, their love force. And anchor it. Anchor it in each chakra. Anchor it from your crown down. Crown, third eye, fourth eye, throat, lower throat, high heart, heart. Halion, solar, umbilical. Sacral. Pubic root. Feel it all the way down to the arches of your feet. Feel it fill your bones like an electrical impulse passing through your entire body. It is enervating, energizing, but not exhausting. And let it flow.
back from the meditation. Okay, so this is the cover slide that I made for Phalia. And it's part 3 of this galactic series that we've started. So this channeling came through back in 2012, July, through Linda Dillon, channel for the Council of Love. But I find that this information is timeless. It's amazing to be able to go back and review it. I remember it when it came in, and but yeah. So she says, "Welcome. I am Phalia. It is my honor to be chosen and to have this opportunity to speak to my brothers and sisters of Gaia. I am more like you than you think or suspect. For the universe, the cosmos, your planet, our fleet, it is not really composed simply of leadership, although of course we honor and respect the role that is being played by these beings. It is the troops, it is the masses, it is often what you refer to as the worker bees, the worker light bees that fill the days, the hours, and truly conduct business, the operation of the fleet and of the ship. I am called Phalia, but I'm also known as a healing technician. Now that is our term, and I have been briefed by many in preparation for this evening. And so I wish to explain not only the term healing, but also the term technician. As you are aware, and as you have, each and every one of you, been invited to come to our healing chambers, what we call healing chambers, every night, every day, or somewhere in between, it matters not. The true technician is a term that implies that I work with the energies, the technology, and the people involved in each and every healing that I am responsible for. So it is not simply what you would think of. You have X-ray technicians or ultrasound technicians. That is not my role. A technician, and you will find that this term is used in the various departments or divisions, but a technician is one who involves themselves in the activity of their division. So she says, every one of us has been invited to these healing chambers. So do take them up on this. There is no separation between what you would think of as technology or machinery or energy devices and the technician themselves. But before we get to that, I would like to talk to each of you, or to you. Each of us would like to talk to you, but I would like to talk to you about what my day is like on ship and at home. I am from the Pleiadian sector. There is a balance always between work and home and play, relaxation, family, friendships. And it is a balancing act, as each of you know, and struggle with sometimes, but it is a balancing act that within our lives and structures is pretty much strictly adhered to. Because this is an intense time, not only for you of Earth, but for we of the fleet as well, it is important. And what we have found conjointly, because although we adhere to the regulations and the rules, the protocols of the fleet, we also have mechanisms where we reach joint decision. So we are very democratic in terms of how we proceed and how we operate. And by joint consensus, we have agreed that this balance of work and home, spirit, etc., is very important. My day begins, if you are to think of, and each of us has been asked to think and to speak in terms of what you would call your day, your 24-hour cycle, so our 24-hour cycle, which we are very used to, by the way, because we have been observing and working with you for hundreds of years. My day begins around 6 o'clock in your morning. I am thinking and sharing with you about North America. We don't really adhere to time zones, but my day begins early. I have 2 children that you would think of as family and also a mate. And so there's family time and preparation for the day as we begin. Now our preparation is similar, but slightly different to yours. Of course, we cleanse and we take time for sacred undertakings to set the energy, not only for ourselves and for our family unit, but also for our co-workers, for those that we will work with during the day, or on during the day, the projects that we will interact with, and for the peace and harmony of the ship as well. This may sound minor, but it is something that is very important to me. It is how I like to begin my day. So I found that really interesting. To set the energy for ourselves, our family unit, our co-workers, those that we will work with during the day or on during the day, and the projects and the peace and the harmony of the ship. So it's not unlike, it's not Kamara talking to us about the universal law of intent and the intentions within that law. It is very rare that we would go to one of the nourishment stations, what you would think of as cafeterias or restaurants, to receive our morning nourishment. If any of us desired sustenance, we would simply receive it through the replicator, which is like a microwave, where you can simply punch in what you desire. I have a tea that I enjoy every morning that is a blend that comes from the Pleiadians. It is a reminder and the taste of home, which I'm sure many of you can relate to. My children are young and they spend their time in what you would think of as daycare, which is very different from yours. So we take time in the morning, which is very important. Then I would proceed to my station, which is on board the Neptune, although I have also worked and am assigned from time to time to the healing ships as well. One of the things that you may not know is there are many healing ships, and I have been given permission to share this information. There are many healing ships that have been stationed very close to the Earth because the demand for the healing chambers and the healings that we are so glad to share and offer to you has increased so dramatically, which is an honor and a joy to us, because it also means that the human collective is not only accepting us, which we are so anxious for, but is also getting ready to let go of many of their old belief systems or injuries, emotional or mental or physical or spiritual. We do not particularly differentiate between these, but I digress. So she says, I arrive at my healing station about 7:15, so 7:15, and what you would think of as my shift would go from 7:30 to, depending on the day, and it is a day that runs to 2:30 or 3:30. We have a few breaks, and what I do, because I am in charge of my particular station and my day, management of my day, is that I prefer to take 15 to 20-minute breaks in between what you think of as clients or patients or those receiving the service. I arrive slightly early that I may not be feeling rushed as I begin my day. On average, I would have about sometimes as many as 10, depending on the severity of the situation that we are working with. Although I am the one responsible for this healing station, I would also have 2 other healing technicians with me and available to help me or to assist me or to do as I request or direct, as you would think. So I manage this station. If you are to visualize what my station looks like, it is a healing chamber, which has been described to you before, but I do not think, or I am not aware that the entire chamber has been described to you. There is an antechamber where the person, the individual, and generally it is an individual that I'm working on, that is my responsibility and my pleasure, because I have received a great deal of training in this area. All of us have, and that may be a question for which you may wish to pursue, but there is an antechamber where the person is relaxing and preparing for what we think of as a gift of healing, a procedure of healing, much like with your doctors and hospitals, like you would receive information on the person or the individual and what they are perceiving as what they wish to have healed. During that time, what you can think of as the interview time, there is discussion and disclosure about what is really going on. Not to the point where we would ever challenge the individual's perception or what they think or feel or believe, but there is some activations that take place for other considerations to come into play. So for example, if one comes in and we work on many different species and all of the fleet. And yes, there are times when they require healing, and I would like to address that as well. But say a human has beamed up or been welcomed aboard and they feel that they have difficulty with their heart, with that organ that they call their heart. They may think it is a blockage or high blood pressure or stress or any palpitations or arrhythmia. They may come forward to us expressing this desire for that healing to take place. But we would always have the further conversation of, what do you think in your life may be causing this? What is in your history? And it is not just what you think of as your medical history, but your personal history, both current and perhaps past life, that you think is activating this irregularity, this departure from perfection. So there is that kind of conversation that takes place in preparation. And when we are asking the questions, we are transmitting energy already from our beings to that being, so that the opening to healing is already occurring. Now, one of the primary differences that happens when we are working with individuals coming to the healing chambers is, unlike Earth, particularly what you think of as third dimensional Earth, most of the individuals who arrive are truly prepared for healing. That is not so on your planet, because often people are coming and they are saying, fix this, but they are not really prepared to address or receive the healing, because the core issues of love or self-worth or the vasanas have not been cleared. The debris is being held tightly. We do not have that same challenge, although we do encounter it now and then, but it is a rarity. The activation begins in the antechamber, in what you would think of as the reception room, although it is far more embracing than anything we have viewed, because we study your medical systems, your alternative medical systems, and what you think of as healing or specialty hospitals. We are very familiar with this. It is part of our ongoing research and education. Now, outside the healing chamber, there is also what you would think of as our workstation, which to many of you would look as if it is a very high-tech situation, because there are what you would think of as computer screens, a great deal of technology. For the frequency, light, sound, attunements, or adjustments, there is a constant scanning of not only the physical body that is on the table, but the fields as well, the 8 fields that the human beings and most beings carry. So it looks, although it is very high tech, there is also the energy transmission that is taking place. Let us be clear, as healing technicians, we are not only operating the technology, we are also master healers, and we bring our healing abilities to the individual. That energy flows in addition to what we are also using as technology. So I included this picture of the 8 fields, just for reference. We've had that one before. I've shown you that one before with the 13 chakra system, and then the heart of one. Okay, as I have said, there are 3 of us within the technology room or chamber. Then there is the healing chamber itself, and it is quite pristine. The healing tables, you have X-ray tables, we have crystal beds, but the crystal has been treated so that it is soft, it is pliant, it is gentle, so that the person does not feel as if they are lying on a bed of rock. Quite the contrary, it cocoons them. There is a combination of the treatment that is given to the crystals, because they are the magnifiers or the transmitters of the energy that is sent into the chamber. But it is also treated with layers of light and frequency that make the person feel as if they are cocooned or lying on a cloud or on a very gentle bed, gentle but supportive bed, so that as soon as they lie down, they begin to feel a release and a relief from their aches and pains, whether it is physical or emotional. Now, I know we actually have some of these crystal beds. I had the joy of lying on one not too long ago, and it was amethyst, and it was really amazing. And the woman played music at the same time. It was really something. So it is a very healing environment. One wall is, you would see it as a window that you would be able to see the healing technicians, so that there's not a sense of separation from us. And then the far wall is completely glass, so that the individual is also seeing and being caressed by the universe, by the stars, and by the ships that are floating or coming into port, as it were. The third wall, is simply made up of light and color, and again, textures that are inviting and soothing. The fourth wall has that as well, but that is also the door to the antechamber. So I wish to give you a visual of what our healing chambers look like when someone is cocooned and prepared, and one of the healing technicians, not always myself, but often, prepares and is in the chamber with the individual, getting them ready and making sure that they are comfortable. Then the healing technician comes back into the technology center, and the person lying on the table, the crystal table, begins to receive first very gentle laser lights of color. These are colors and spectrums that are known on Earth, but also broader spectrums of light, and certainly combinations also. And each of these are programmed specifically to what the diagnosis, which is done as soon as the person is lying on the table. The information that we have gathered in the antechamber is added to a scan that we have talked to you of the individual, so that we are very clear in pinpointing the maladies or what you would think of as imbalance. Then very gently, we begin to penetrate the individual, not just to the field or to the organ, but completely. All fields, all organs, all bodies are beginning to be penetrated with light of various spectrums. And within that light is sound, again attuned to what is the issue. Then within that is more light, and within that is also what we would call frequency adjustments or pulsations. And this varies depending upon, again, what the individual needs. You have some technology that we have introduced through our star brothers and sisters already on planet into your alternative, mostly healing practices that include laser color, or what you think of as color therapy or sound therapy. The RIFE, R-I-F-E machine would be one example. I looked that up, and it really is something. The person is usually, and it varies, harder, softer, stronger, gentler, depending on the comfort level of the person, and depending on what they require and what they are responding to, because the scans of the individual are constant. We in the technology center are receiving constant feedback from the person on the table and adjusting not only the energy we are sending and perceiving from them, but also what our technology is providing. The sessions are usually around 20 to 25 minutes. If it is a critical situation, which we would say is life force almost absent, what you would consider intensive care would be about 45 minutes, very rarely to an hour, because that is what the being, and particularly a human being, can absorb. Depending on how they're doing at the end of the session, they can either rest on the crystal table and continue to receive ambient sound and light, but we do not bombard them any longer. The penetration is very gentle at that point. It is like listening to music after you've had a massage, and if they need to stay there and rest, we simply go to an alternate chamber. From our technology center, we have access to 3 chambers, so they can either rest there, or they can go to their own chamber if they're on board ship, or they can be teleported back to their bed or their own residence. This continues throughout the day. As I say, usually when I take a break, I will go to the collective room for my own restoration. Sometimes I will set the frequencies and lie on the table myself and allow one of my colleagues to help me boost up, as it were. But I will always go and take some sustenance, whether it is sheer energy or what you think of as food. On board ship, we have many choices of where to eat, if we choose to eat, and what kind of food, because we have a great variety. But I want to share with you tonight, and thank you. You're going to laugh, but one of my favorite foods from Earth is cornflakes. They're not just breakfast food here. They can be munched on at any time, and we find them quite delightful. So that is an encapsulation of my workday. After work at 2:30 or 3:30, I retire to my chamber. The difference between 2:30 and 3:30 and sometimes longer is we have what you would think as an in-service training where we are learning, updating, sharing information, sharing about the progression of our primary considerations, which are the earthlings at this point, or just learning new information. Then I would go to my chamber and rest for a little. The children can be brought home or I can pick them up. Our ships are completely safe. So it is not unusual for children to be guided home, particularly if they are an age where they like to go exploring, and the exploring is welcome as this is their home. We always have family time at night, but also share in communal time. Sometimes it is sacred undertakings, and sometimes it is just sheer entertainment, films. Well, what you would think of as films, although we have been watching some of your Earth films as well. They are amusing and sometimes quite scary. We do not like the scary ones, and we do not have a preference to that, but it also helps us understand some of your mindsets. But very often we will simply remain in what you can think of as our own home, our own apartment. We don't use the term apartments very often because these are our homes and have been for a long time. They are individualized. They are our sacred space. They are the place where we nurture each other and come together where we discuss our days. Does this give you, my fellow friends of Earth, a snapshot of who we are? We dress in uniform to go to work, by the way. No, it is not a requirement, but again, the consensus is it is simply easier, and we are proud to wear our uniforms, our UFOG uniforms. And then Jeffrey, who was interviewing her, said, thank you for the benefit of those who will be sharing your words. He asked for the correct spelling, and she says Phalia, Phalia. He says, thank you. You have addressed to varying degrees the concept of healing. And I think that was my primary question, really, because so many people have heard that there is no such thing as illness or disease up there. You have elaborated that you go to some of this healing, although you probably do not think of it as a healing, more than perhaps just receiving a little boost in energy to keep the flow going. Would that be a correct way? And she said, yes, that is a correct way, but also know that we are very concerned. Just as we have a theme of maintaining and adhering to balance in our life and our lifestyles, as you would call them, we also have a huge emphasis, and it is considered each person's right to have perfect balance and full life force energy. There are times, there have been, we listen to your shows and and we enjoy them enormously, by the way. So you have had times where you have talked about the inter-association or the exchange with the intergalactics or the galactics and what that does to us. There are times when we have had these exchanges where those who are assigned, for example, to Earth, or even to the healing ships that are now hovering around Earth, where they need an energy boost or attunement because the experience. No, we do not see you as cruel or hurtful, but the energy that still is pervasive, as you know, upon your planet during this time of change. There is a great deal of chaos. There is still some very disruptive energy, so those particularly on those types of assignments will come for this readjustment, and it is considered very important It is like if you are working in a radioactive environment, you would go through the shower at the end of the day to make sure you're not carrying any of that residue upon you. Similarly, if there is a fleet, as you know, well, perhaps you don't know, that has been assigned to work with Archangel Michael, or who has been assigned to address some of the arsenals or the dismantling of arsenals, those are very toxic environments. When that happens, or when they have accompanied Michael, for example, to assist, and they are assisting far more than the humans are aware of, and I am permitted to say this, for example, in Egypt or Syria, or even in the past few days in your area known as Colorado. So I looked up what was happening in July, and there were wildfires in Colorado. When they return, they will receive, it will not be a full, it will be 15 to 20 minutes your time in the healing chamber so that they are refreshed, renewed, and prepared to go back and continue the work that is so important. You don't always know how we are helping you, and this is one of the ways in which we are assisting. The healing ships that are positioned very close to Earth, they have almost a revolving door. The technicians that are volunteering and clamoring to do this work are excited at the assignments, but they are also very aware that they need the rebalancing at the end of their day, so that our balance and harmony within our families and our communities and onboard ship are maintained. So the thought that we immediately, because we are fifth or higher dimensional beings, that we do not get any on us is not quite correct. We take all precautions, but we also do the same way you will go to have a healing or a sound treatment or color therapy, a massage, or a Reiki, a Lao Chi, simply because you want to cherish yourself and nourish yourself. We do that all the time. And Jeffrey asked, many people I'm sure have been visiting the ships and the healing centers during the night, but maybe they're not consciously aware of it. I have that sensation myself. Are there tangible signs that people can look to in their worlds to know that they perhaps have been worked on? And Phalia said, well, the most tangible sign, and I understand that you have need, our protocol is that, of course, you ask to be beamed up to the ship. Okay, so this is her saying the protocol. You ask to be beamed up to the ship, whether it is at night or during the day. It matters not, to be worked on. We do not just simply take you. That would be against universal law, and we're very fussy about that. So if you do want to go to the ship, ask to be beamed up. The tangible sign is that you feel better. Now, if it is a physical ailment, one of your tangible signs might be that, in fact, if it has been a more of a surgical intervention, yes, we do surgery as well. That is another topic. But you may feel a little stiff, stiffer than normal, as if you've been worked on very deeply, and yet a higher sense of well-being that increases throughout the day. You also might have dreaming or night visions that are filled with what you can think of as, well, certainly the star screen, that is the window in the healing chamber, because what we often find with the humans is they immediately turn their heads to the left and watch out the window. But also visions in your daytime waking hours when you close your eyes as if you are in a sea of misty color, or very bright color and colors that you really wouldn't normally think of. Or when you are meditating in your fields, that you look for an issue or a blockage that has been there and it is no longer there. In fact, what it feels like, and this is consistent, is that it feels like a distant memory. It is a sensation, oh yeah, that used to hurt, or I used to have a bad knee, or I used to feel very heavy about my past relationships. I used to think that I would never find love, and it is gone. But one of the things you may also ask for, because the healing is very broad definition in our perspective, you may ask for the restoration of your conscious memories. Now, this is not a simple yes or no. It is a discernment amongst the three technicians and yourself and your guides, by the way, who also accompany you, who decide how much, how fast. because it is always for your greatest benefit, for what you think of as your highest good, but you may ask for those memories as well. That is part of your healing. It is the remembering. We want you to know us. Sometimes we are very anxious because we tend to unite after night because we have a consistent group of clients. It isn't just first come, first serve. If we begin to work with you, we continue to work with you because we believe that sense of continuity, of caring, of connection is very important. We want you to know us, not because we want praise or thanks or gratitude, but because we are connected, we are a team, and we give you our heart space and our love. And that was the end of her talk to us. So let me just bring us out of this. There we go. Bring this back. Okay, so she had lots to say. Yes, did anyone find it surprising what the healing chambers look like? Or have you had experiences or felt like you've had an experience in a healing chamber? Or as she said, even seeing colors during the daytime? What did you say something, Steve? You're on mute. Everyone's on mute.
Not that I can remember.
Okay.
I mean, I've asked to go up, but I have no memories of what happened after that.
You have asked to be beamed up. Yeah. Okay. And do you remember why you asked to be beamed up?
Probably worn out, tired, just wanted to be rejuvenated.
Okay. And do you remember if you felt any different, like even in the following weeks or?
No, I don't actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go tonight.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. We can report back. Yeah. And just know it's something that's very consistent too. So if we go, like we can go every night until we feel much, much better. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Or even if you wake up in the middle of the night, Ken, ask to be beamed up if you forgot before you fall asleep. Yeah. Yeah.
So Kathleen, what can you explain to me more or to us more about the crystal chamber that you were talking about or crystal bed that you were talking about?
Oh yeah. So it was out at the place where I do the readings. And
Okay.
yeah, so there was a girl in there doing healings at the same time as I was doing readings last fall, and she had a crystal bed that she would bring in. She would set up her chamber with, and it was a healing chamber. And there's a bed out there as well that's in the closet. So she would pull that out and put it's like a pad that went on top of the bed, and it heated up, and it was amethyst. And it was extraordinary. So I'm sure you can find them on the internet. I don't think they're that hard to find. But what she did was she said, lie down. And then she started playing this beautiful music. And then she started doing something with crystals all over me. And it made my eyes close. And I don't know what she was doing, but it felt amazing. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yes. And that's actually the second one that I've been on. I know that there was another one on that bed that they would just use as a heating pad, and someone was doing Reiki out there. And so, yeah. Or pranic healing, actually. It was pranic healing. And he would use that crystal mattress as well.
Question. Was that pad healed by the crystals or by an electric cord or,
Yes, exactly. It had an electric cord that would plug into the wall. So that would heat it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the most remarkable one was the amethyst one, I have to say. Yeah. And in the store where I do readings, I stand in front of a giant amethyst. And when I first started standing there, the energy was so strong. I actually didn't realize what it was. It felt like I was in the ocean. So the amethyst energy is really something. And that's the color of the crown chakra too. And that's all, you know, the understandings of I am perfect health. I am balance. I am love. That's connected to our I am presence that sometimes we've blocked. And that's how important the I am mantras are too. Yeah.
It's fascinating.
It really is. I love the description of the wall, like the wall of the universe that you can look out at. And the spaceships and the spaceports and all that. And how we turn our head to the left. So it's on the left. Yeah. Humans turn their head to the left to look at the stars.
And the other thing I found really interesting was the description that she had about the chaos that that they come down to, and that they have to get, recalibrated almost to go back up to, feel healthy again. It just shows what we're living in, like
Exactly.
the thickness of it all, right? And
yes, to bless yourself for the courage it takes to be here. I think it's a really important part of our healing. Just keep blessing yourself, because it's really dense here. I mean, it's better now than it was 10 years ago. I have to say that.
for
Mhm.
sure.
But we've still got a lot of chaos. Mhm. Yeah, and that Archangel Michael is involved with the wildfires. I didn't realize that. Did you get that? That he would go into the war zones to disband the arsenals, but also into the wildfires. That's a team of Michael's boys and girls within the wildfires. That's incredible. And how
To
many?
tame them, or what would be the purpose?
To
To
help,
tame the fires?
yeah, to help with the firefighting within the wildfires, because we've had so many wildfires. Mhm.
To protect the trees?
Yes, and the houses and the people. Yes. Yeah, contain the wildfires.
Matthew, in his message on August 1st, repeated that they had mitigated the virus, neutralized the programming of the microchips, and even something about the graphene. So they're very active behind the scenes.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a disturbing thing that happened to one of my friends. She developed a cyst on her head right here. And when she went to the hospital, a doctor came flying in and said he'd had one right here. And we're wondering if that's connected to the vaccine. Mhm.
Was she vaccinated?
Mhm.
Was
Yeah.
your friend vaccinated?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
What's graphene?
Graphene is, I think it's related to graphite, but its peculiarity is that it's one plane, right?
Yeah.
Sheets.
Mm-hmm.
And the molecular structure is a single plane. And so what happens is when it circulates in the bloodstream, it knocks against the walls of the cell and cuts them, right? And they're busy coagulating all over the place, and that's what makes the clots.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And the graphene hydroxide, according to Matthew, the purpose of it is to interact with the 5G network and do bad things to us. So they've neutralized a lot of that.
Oh, wow.
Thank heavens.
Thank you, Galactics.
Yeah. Matthew was saying that the oh Jesus, cannot hold on to things. No, can't hold on to it. Sorry.
So who do you mean by Matthew, Steve? You're talking about,
Matthew Ward.
okay, that's what I thought. I'm just clarifying. Yep.
Oh.
Yep, that's who I thought you meant.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So, Darren, what did you think about those healing chambers?
Well, somehow I have the feeling that I know all about them already anyway, but that was somewhere in the back of my mind. But I was really impressed by how holistic that whole system is. You know, like the healer is also integrated with the technology, so they work together. And I found that really fascinating, and how the person is scanned continuously throughout the whole process, so that, you know, any changes are obviously evident right away. And so it's, yeah, to go to probably again if I haven't been there already.
Mhm. Yeah, and how they work on all our fields.
Yeah, I found that fascinating too. I
Mhm.
didn't really realize there were 8 fields. I'll have to review that, I guess, and see what the other 2 are that I'm missing.
Okay, I can send you that image if you want.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, thanks.
Mhm.
Save me looking it up, I guess.
Mhm.
Can you send it to us, please?
Mhm. Yeah,
Angelina,
okay, I don't have your email. Do you want, or you can go, you know what I'll do? I'll post it. I'll post it on my site. So my site is voiceoffreedom.ca, and I'll put it on the Golden Age of Gaia one too. I'll put it in the recording post.
voiceoffreedom.com.
.ca.
Let's see.
CA. I'm in Canada.
Okay,
Mhm.
voiceoffreedom.ca.
Yes, yes, and go to
Capital C, capital A, or lowercase?
lowercase,
Doesn't matter.
all lowercase.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And go to the Sacred Insights blog, and then just scroll down. You'll see the recording. I'll put the recording up tonight. And it'll be tomorrow on the Golden Age of Gaia.
Okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
and the chakra one too? The one on the chakras?
Okay. Yeah. No problem. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Mhm. And I, you know, when I do these slideshows, I often put these same images up over and over, so you get to see them again and again.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think it was Ashira, wasn't it, who said that they can go back on a timeline. Like I walk out of my apartment this evening, I get hit by a bus. They can go onto the timeline and walk it back, and then, you know, have me go like this instead of like that, right? And I'm alive again, so to speak. It's quite amazing. There's a book coming out on I think it's Sunday, on timelines, and this is in that book, that they can do that.
Wow. Are you putting the book together?
It's all put together. It's coming out Sunday. Actually, I think it was Ivo of Vega.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I know they can definitely shift interdimensionally. Like maybe that's something to do with that too. I don't know.
Interdimensionally.
Well, they thought, remember when they were talking about the Malaysian airliner, how they could pick it up and put it in a different dimension, so it looked like it had disappeared.
Or a different timeline, different dimension.
But they may be connected, timelines and dimensions. Maybe.
There was a movie that kind of touched on that, like a Hollywood movie with, I think it was with Leonardo DiCaprio a couple of years ago. And it was, when you watched it, it was quite, you know, you had to really figure out what they were talking about, but that's exactly what they were showing you, was that, you know, he was changing timelines, and if he did this and then he went back and then he did it a different way, or yeah, it was kind of just like they were giving it to the mass public, you know, these little bits of it to let them think about it and mull it over. Does anybody remember that movie?
Are you talking about Inception?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, right?
Inception.
Did you see that, Ken?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was, really, right? About different timelines. Yeah.
Wow, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And
Well,
well, go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. Not much to say. That's okay.
Okay. And they did say, like, during the intergalactic wars, back when there was a 10,000-year war, that they were touching in the 4th and the bottom of the 5th. So the technology, you could go in and out of dimensions, and that was part of the warfare. but they didn't want us to become afraid that that was what could happen here. So they didn't want us to, remember, that's what they said about the Malaysian airliner. They didn't want our star brothers and sisters on ground to be afraid that that was going to happen again.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So,
So what happened to the passengers of the Malaysian airline?
I think it crashed into the ocean. There's a few different theories, but according to the channeling through Linda Dillon, it didn't they say it exploded in midair and then went into the ocean? Something
Now,
like
that's sort of sad, yeah.
Well, that there are different versions. Another version was that they took the airliner and put it on another timeline and then seeded the water with some pieces of,
Debris?
let's put it that way.
yeah.
But there are actually different versions of what happened to MH370.
Yeah, depending on the channel. So this is where we have to use our own discernment. I tend to go with the loving version. Whatever's the most loving, because the Galactics keep saying they are so loving and they've been watching over for hundreds of years, and they really want us to know that they're there for us.
Yeah. Love is the primary characteristic of the higher dimensions.
Yeah,
Primary fact that you encounter right away.
yeah,
Can I share an experience?
yes.
About 4 or 5 years ago, when my sister and I were visiting Madeira, Portugal, we were given a hotel room overlooking the ocean. And one night, we beamed with our flashlight at a red light that was way out in the distance over the ocean. And it beamed back. But then at night, when both of us were asleep, I was awakened by a very, very bright light, white light that was shining on my eyes. And so I woke up and I got up and tried to wake up my sister so that we could together, we would go to the balcony. But I couldn't wake her up. So I went to the balcony myself and I looked out to my right and I saw the bright, bright, bright light. And once it saw that I was on the balcony, it zigzagged and it disappeared into well, I thought it was a wall.
I love it. Oh, that's great.
That's
Yeah. So my sister, I told my sister when she woke up, she says, well, it wasn't for me. It wasn't meant for me. It was just meant for you.
Yeah. Wow. Do you feel like you're from the Pleiades?
I don't know where I'm from. I mean, I don't know. No. Orion. I think it's, I feel close to Orion.
Orion, beautiful. Wow, they came to say hi.
Yes.
So beautiful. Wow, I love that. I love stories like that. Mhm.
universe is on Orion's belt.
Mhm.
We saw Men in Black.
Yes.
So fun. Well, Steve, it's 6 o'clock. I know you said you had
Yes.
to run.
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, I will bid my adieu. Love you all.
Mhm.
Okay. Love
You.
you too.
Won't see you Friday. I'll be in Victoria visiting my sister-in-law.
Oh,
Have a wonderful time.
have a
Thank
nice
you.
trip.
Have a nice
Well,
trip.
yeah, good trip.
Yeah,
See you
bye.
Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday.
My last question to you is if I feel like, I mean, if I need assistance, in healing my eyes, and
Mhm.
my vision, healing my vision, because I have glaucoma, and in one eye, I've lost vision in one eye. So I can ask the Pleiades for help to be beamed up. Is that it?
Absolutely. Yes, ask for help. That's right. That's exactly it. Just ask before you fall asleep. Ask to be beamed up to a healing ship.
It doesn't matter which planet or which ship or whatever.
No, you'll go to the right one for you.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And consistently, ask to do it consistently, because
Yeah.
I've found that there's so many belief systems here, as there's layers to them, to our belief systems that create the illness. So it's just unpacking the different beliefs that have created the eyesight issues.
Yes, okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So you'll be on next week?
Yes, I'm here on Friday. There's a discussion group Friday at 7 p.m. So you'll see the link on Golden Age of Gaia or Voice of Freedom. And then we have Tuesday where we meditate, and Wednesday is class like this, what we did today.
Okay, fine. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay.
Good night, everyone. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay, good night.
Oh, Diana, are you there? Diana.
A ghost. So how are you feeling today?
Better. Yeah, it's really good doing the work with like putting these slideshows together, because I feel like a lot of energy comes in.
Right, yeah,
Yeah. And a whole new development with my daughter. She's now seeing the light again. Like, as I said, it's like a back and forth thing that's happening with her.
yeah.
And I mean, there's no way this guy can heal that fast. There's just no way. Okay, he's been on the surface looking like everything's fine. I mean, it took me 3 years to leave my marriage. It's
Yeah.
very difficult when you're battered. It's
Yeah.
it's probably I'd say it's one of the most difficult, crazy, scary things that can happen, because it's so insidious.
Yeah. Yeah, I really can't speak to it because I didn't experience it that way anyway.
Mhm.
But yeah, what's she doing? Is she or what?
She's back living with them, but she's coming over tomorrow, and we're gonna make a plan, and I'm gonna definitely talk to my family about us going and living in the family house, because I know it's going to be available. It's just been waiting to make sure this is what she really wants.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to be the start of something really great, because the two of us together,
Yeah.
we're a force.
Yeah, I guess so, eh?
Mhm. And it's so needed. We have so many battered women out there, and women that are struggling with addiction. It'll just be we'll create one more center that, hopefully can expand and expand and expand.
Yeah, that'll be great for sure. Eh? So are your parents still live out there or what?
They're there right now, but my mom had the stroke, so it's really too isolated for her to be there.
Oh, is that right? So she had another stroke? Oh, it's too bad. Eh?
No, but the one, I mean, then she fractured her back. So, I mean, they're doing okay, but there's no way they can stay there for the winter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Too isolated. My sister has offered for them to go to her house, which would be perfect. It's closer to my mom's sister, her sisters. Yeah, no. So I think it's all just gonna fall into place.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll give some distance also for JoJo from JJ, and that way it'll make it maybe easier. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it'll have to be a definite separation, I think. So maybe the lawyers will start to get involved, but we'll see what happens. But what she was advised today, which was really interesting, because she's been doing therapy and taking classes, but the therapist has been telling her to go to phone the Battered Women's Society and become registered. Like it's like an hour phone call where they ask you a whole bunch of questions.
Right.
When you do that, you can use that in a court of law.
Right. Oh, well, there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if it ever gets to that, or, you know, you never know though. Eh?
Yeah, so it's just another tool. So it's
Yeah.
fantastic, fantastic.
Well-
And then we'll establish a connection with the Battered Women's Society, because maybe it'll be those women that come to our safe house or whatever we create.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It'd definitely be a connection for something anyway.
Yeah,
You know, maybe whatever, you know, who knows? Huh?
yeah. So I can feel like we've reached a whole new level to build something tangible to help.
Yeah, well, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to have a solid plan. That way you're not up in the air, you know, which the hardest place to be, you know, if you don't know what's going to happen or what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep doing all these Zooms because these Zooms are all part of it. Understanding how things work on board ship is key to creating a loving community on Earth.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I was also struck by the fact of how careful they are in caring for their energy, you know, before they go to work, after they finish the work, you know, and especially after working with people from Earth, you know. So they're always very careful about their energy fields. And that's what really struck me.
Mhm. Yeah, well, it's funny, the more we're in divine alignment, I can do 10 readings out at tap and feel nothing. Like I feel fantastic. But I
Right.
feel like the more you're in that perfect alignment place, then you're not really carrying a lot of residual. Like it
Yeah.
just bounces off you, like, because your bubble is love.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So if you're in that place of forgiveness of everything and blessing everything and being compassion for our fellow humans, that's love. That's pure love.
It is. It is for sure. Yeah. Well, I was just curious, if you don't mind, triggered that event at the wedding anyway.
What's that?
What triggered you, you know, those core issues that you were dealing with there Sunday, Monday?
Okay, so deep sense of separation. So this is what I've been dealing with lifetimes, from my understanding. I would create illness to leave the planet. So I just would create illness. So I was seeing that. If I had been traumatized or hurt, then I would make myself sick and die. So that came up. Deep old sorrow of separation. Because when Jojo said, no, I'm going back to be with this guy, it brought up all the 3 years of me going back and forth. In my
That's all right.
marriage.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, it just was like excruciating.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So
Which
that's.
I thought I'd cleared out. No.
Well, that's, you know, we think we have it cleared out and there's still some there, or a lot there, you know.
There was a lot. I'm really glad that happened, because I mean, it's not pretty. I tend to, when I fall out of balance, I really fall out of balance, but I don't direct it at anybody. I direct the energy to the other side, but I know they can transmute it immediately. So yeah, anger goes out, but I feel like they're just gathering it and transmuting it, because they know that's kind of how I operate. I've done this. Hopefully that's the last time, but it's happened many times.
Yeah. Right. So you get that feeling you want to go to the other side, eh?
Oh, it just feels impossible here. Impossible and hopeless.
Yeah. You feel, or have you felt that very often, or?
In the last 5 years, it's been more ever since I moved into this apartment. But I feel like I've been digging deeper in myself. Like she says, if you want to know your past lives, ask.
Yeah.
And
Right,
a lot of the issues rest in those hundreds of thousands of lifetimes.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
It's so violent here.
It's what?
It's so violent here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But yeah, and I'm also impressed by the fact that all these issues that come up, they are in my present life as well, or have been, at some time in my life, and so interesting, that we have those events in our life to bring out all those issues that we had thousands of years ago.
Seems like we just recreate them over and over. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Until we can actually dissolve them. And, it was interesting even tonight, I don't know what really triggered it, but coming together in this group again, I got that tension in my shoulders again, So I'm not sure why, but I had to work on that probably again tonight to clear that off,
Well, they may be wanting you to ask for help. Like, so tonight, ask to be beamed up. They may be bringing that up in you so that you asked for help.
Okay, I never thought of that. Or you think it was the Palladians were giving me a clue that I need to ask for help.
Yeah, they love it when we ask for help. Or just ask for healing ship for you, because maybe you're not Pleiadian, are you?
No, I don't think I am, no. But
Yeah.
I have quite a few Palladian contacts, I think, Palladian beings I relate to in my meditations and that.
Right. Well, just ask to go to the right, a healing ship that's perfect for you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
then
that never occurred to me. That's a good idea, actually.
yeah,
Because, why did it come up just when you brought this show, slideshow up, It's very interesting.
yeah, and well, I think the energy right now is to dig deeper. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah, in general, yeah, for sure.
it's like what Leanne said at the very beginning. Did anyone have issues Sunday, Monday? That's when mine hit me. So something happened.
Oh, it's all right, yeah.
Yeah, she said something happened planetarily, but I mean, I felt a huge, I don't know, that there was more work to do.
Yeah, right, yeah, for sure.
And then with Nancy Pelosi going over to Taiwan, and the same thing happening in the Ukraine, and I mean, the Pope in Canada. That's 3 major events that are all around us.
Yeah, and we're only in the first 3 days of August.
Yeah.
We have the rest of the month yet.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's a really interesting month.
It's going to be a really hot month, I think, in that way, but there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah. And the weather, what's the weather supposed to look like?
It's supposed to be warm for a while and then cools off, I think, a little later.
Oh, and it gets hot Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, 27, 28, 28. Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, well, it gets a little warmer here.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay, it's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Is that right? Yeah. Not here, I don't think.
Well, it looks like it's raining. Oh yeah, it's drizzling.
Oh, it goes. Yeah. So we got 32, 22, 25, 31, 34, 33. So it dips down for the weekend or just before the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be, yeah, we don't know. No, but it's funny. I feel so light right now. I've had some kind of a helmet on me. They've got something on me.
Is that right? Yeah.
Energy.
So they're working on you right now?
Yeah, they've been working on me all day.
Yeah, have they? Yeah.
But I am asking to do a really big project, or what feels like a big project. So my higher selves have got to anchor closer that I can do this.
So what higher project are you talking about?
Well, building a therapeutic community for women.
Yeah, well,
It's a big project, but I know I can do it.
and I'm sure I'll be able to help you with that whenever, I get the money. And I'm pretty sure that it will come. Again, I just don't know when,
Yeah. Well, I'm just going with what's guided and just step forth. I'm gonna go and see what happened about my business plan tomorrow. And just keep going from there.
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah, take all the steps you can for sure, because you'll be that much further ahead. And, it's good to have a vision, have a clear vision of what you want.
Yep. Okay. Well, I've got to phone my sister now because I've got to set up a meeting with her. That's the first step. And then, yeah, so we'll see you on Friday.
Okay, well, see you for sure. And yeah, well, I'm glad you're feeling better, and you take care for sure. I hope everything goes really well for you. And well, I hope it goes well for JoJo as well. I hope things turn out well for her.
Yeah, I think it will. Whatever's meant to be will happen.
Well, yeah, although we have some say in what happens, I think, too.
Mhm. But I think she's getting to the place where it's just like she sees it's hopeless. There's no point in staying because you just get diminished. It's not good for the baby. It's not good for her.
No, that's for sure. Yeah, it's not good for either, and especially for the baby, it needs a good life, I think.
Mhm. And it's just trusting, if we set our mind to anything, we can do it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, that healing center will happen for sure as long as you keep it on it,
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Feel it. I feel it more in my bones now. Whereas
Yeah.
before it was wishy-washy. Now I can feel it.
And in fact, I kind of feel it as well. I feel it's going to be a real soon.
Yeah.
But so, and well, like I said, I'll be glad to work with you and help with you in any way I can on it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Well, I want to build the model and then recreate them.
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
And that's where to recreate them, because the first one's, it's the toughest one because you got to build that model and you got to make sure, well, use it for a bit too, to see if the model works. You want to make any changes to it, to make sure, if you can add to it, subtract from it, whatever, what needs to be changed, because it's never, I've done too much building to know that, you always want to change it, the second one a little bit and a little more and so forth.
Yeah. Well, I have a really good family because my sister is a gardener. My brothers are both builders. My one brother is water purification. The other one built log houses and he builds things. He has a ranch. So if it's a family property, I'm sure they're going to want to be involved.
Hell yeah.
Mm.
Well, that'll be great to have a lot of help, because that's the way you build community, by working together like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got to make a phone call before 6:30, so I better get going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, always a pleasure talking to you. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
See you on Friday, I guess.
See you on Friday. Bring some questions.
Okay, I guess I'll have to, since Steve's not going to be there. We'll have to be the question master.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk to you Friday.
Okay, we'll see you. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.